A field of 5 has been narrowed to 4 in the race for 2 seats available on the Scottsbluff City Council with a post-primary election edition of the KNOP Panhandle Roundup. I'm Victoria Kramer. The Nebraska Rural Radio Association reports Jerry Stricker received 561 votes as Scott Phillips garnered 477 votes. Cassandra Lauder claimed 308 votes and Selena Lerma with 256. Charles Leesky will not advance but claimed 156 votes. The 4 candidates that advanced will square off to claim the seat being vacated by Angela Scanlon and Jordan Colwell. And the sale of taxable items in Minatare will soon generate funding for the Panhandle community, as Minatare voters approved a 1-cent sales and use tax during Tuesday's primary election by a margin of more than 2-1, as 72 voted in favor and 31 against. The Nebraska Rural Radio Association reports that 50% of the proceeds of the tax will be used for infrastructure improvements, 25% for community improvements, and the other 25% for downtown redevelopment. The tax does have a 10-year sunset provision unless reauthorized by Minatare residents in 2034. And overall voter turnout in Nebraska was less than what the Secretary of State had anticipated. Secretary Bob Evnen predicted voter turnout would be around 35%. He based that number off of early voting and trends, but as of the latest numbers from his office, that number is 27% for the state, breaking it down by counties covering the Tri-Cities. And some of the Nebraska races for the U.S. Senate and Congress have also drawn interest this year, especially after none of the incumbents were endorsed by the Nebraska GOP. As for the White House, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, they are the only major candidates left standing. They clinched their respective nominations earlier this year. On the Republican side of things, Nikki Haley is on some ballots across the country, despite dropping out of the race in March, shortly before Donald Trump got the nomination. As for Joe Biden and his run for re-election, Nebraska Democrats casting 90% of their vote for the president to have another term in the White House. Challenger Dean Phillips claiming less than 10,000 votes. And Republican Deb Fischer is seeking a third 6-year term in the U.S. Senate. She faced a Republican challenger, Aaron Kowalski. There are no Democrats in the race, but there are 2 legal marijuana now candidates, Kenneth Peterson and Carrie Eddy, and Deb Fischer won with almost 170,000 votes. And Senator Pete Ricketts is running for a 2-year term to keep his seat in the U.S. Senate after being appointed by Governor Jim Pillen to finish out the term of former Representative Ben Sasse. Ricketts faces 2 Republican challengers, John Weaver and Max Stevens, the winner going against the lone Democrat in the race, Preston Love Jr., and Pete Ricketts there with 79% of the vote already. And in Nebraska congressional races, incumbent Adrian Smith is running for re-election to represent Nebraska's 3rd congressional district. He faced 2 Republican challengers, John Walz and Robert McQuiston, and it appears that Adrian Smith will face Daniel Ebers after the Democrat claimed more than 50% of the vote Tuesday evening over David Else. And turning to weather, here is meteorologist Andre Brooks standing by with Panhandle weather.
Well, thank you so much, Victoria. And I'm here to tell you we are seeing some of those scattered shower activity in our northern tier counties at this time. A little bit heavier rainfall near Gordon, and this activity is going to continue to move its way towards the south and east over time. And we are seeing those overcast conditions regardless if you're seeing the rain or not. And our current temperatures right now are mainly in the 50s at this time. So it's rather cool than what we were seeing this time yesterday. And during the day today, we're just going to continue to see those temperatures remain in the 60s, and we will see those rain showers continuing throughout the day. But as we head into tonight, temperatures will drop on down into the 40s and 30s, and those rain showers will come to an end by early evening. And as we enter into our Thursday here, we will see those temperatures increase into the 70s and 80s with those mainly sunny conditions returning. So Victoria, it looks like the rain is coming to an end today.
It looks like it. Thank you, Andre. And air quality alerts are in effect for parts of the Midwest, Northeast, and Great Plains today as smoke from Canadian wildfires drifts south. Dozens of blazes are burning in that country, and some are threatening homes. Tens of thousands of acres are scorched from a fire in British Columbia. It's near the community of Fort Nelson, and thousands of people are evacuating from that area. The province of Manitoba is fighting a massive blaze. In Alberta, residents in parts of Fort McMurray are under evacuation orders because their homes are at risk. And one of the teens connected to the brutal murder of a Lincoln man at Fauner Park last year is now set to face up to 5 decades behind bars. 17-year-old Austin Kelly took a plea deal yesterday, pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery, with 3 other charges dropped in exchange. Last March, 62-year-old Todd Scherer was found shot and beaten in a Fauner Park horse barn, and Kelly took money from Scherer's wallet. 21-year-old Logan Hunt's horse pleaded guilty to the murder earlier this month. Both him and Kelly will be sentenced on July 30th. And ending today on a positive note, as Nebraska will be represented on NBC's The Voice, as Lincoln singer Brian Olsen made the cut, but just barely.
Your fifth finalist is Brian Olsen. He did it. Team John Legend. And a huge thanks to our talent.
Brian in the bottom five won the instant save vote with a cover of Viva La Vida by Coldplay. The finale airs next Monday, May 20th, when each singer performs one last time for America's vote. Brian joins Nathan Chester for Team Legend, giving John 2 artists in the finale for the first time in his 9 seasons as a coach. And that's all we have for now. Remember to join us weekdays for the Panhandle Roundup, covering the stories in the Panhandle that matter to you. Have a great day.